Hey, it's Mark Bravi, keyboardist and lyricist of progressive metal band Virtual Symmetry. I'm gonna be interviewed by the guys of D-Metal Galaxy on their official YouTube channel. So make sure to not miss the interview, subscribe to D-Metal Galaxy's YouTube channel, and get there with us, because we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. Starting from the newly released record Virtual Symmetry and getting to the European tour we just finished. So yeah, be seeing you there, join D-Metal Galaxy, follow our updates, and have a great weekend. See you soon.
Hello everyone. We are back tonight on our YouTube channel with an interview regarding a new release, Virtual Symmetry. And to continue to Live Spirit, it's a band we had the pleasure to meet during Evergrey tour. And it will be a night of new insights, and you will learn the secret recipe of Virtual Symmetry, high quality of music. So grab your booze and tune in. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much to every one of you just listening and being here with us. And let's hope I can make your night and just give you all the infos you may ask me for.
Mark.
Hey there.
Welcome, Mark. So for those who hadn't the pleasure to meet you back on the road with Evergrey, can you describe yourself in a few words and the band?
Yeah, of course. I'm Mark Bravi. I'm the keyboardist, lyricist, and co-producer of Virtual Symmetry, progressive metal band from Switzerland and Italy. And we just finished, as she was saying, we just finished touring with Evergrey and Fractal Universe through Europe. We just spent 38 days playing almost every night in every, different countries, starting from Germany, going through France, Belgium, Poland, Ireland, UK, Switzerland, and so on. And we just released our new album. It was released on the September 16th via Sensory Records. It is called Virtual Symmetry, and it's our first eponymous album, even if it's the fourth one.
Sorry, it's the first. What is
it's the first eponymous. It's called Just Like Us.
Eponymous, a fancy term. Great. Before we dive into this tour, let's get to know Virtual Symmetry a bit better. Can you tell in a few words the journey from a solo project to this very fourth eponymous album, and how do you feel about holding the fourth album in your hands?
So, Virtual Symmetry, as you said, began as a solo project by our guitarist Valerio Æsir Villa in 2009. And that's the time when he began writing all the music for the first album, Message from Eternity, from our debut album. But then he just didn't want to do everything by himself. He wanted to form a band. And that's what happened, I think, between 2012 and 2014, because I got into the band in December 2013, actually. And yeah, as soon as I got in, we were a formed band. We just had a drummer, a bass player, a singer, which is Marco Pastorino, who has a great voice. So let me just introduce the guys from the band. Since 2014, in the band, there have been Valerio Æsir Villa on guitars, myself, Mark Bravi on keyboards, Marco Pastorino on vocals, Alessandro Poppale on bass player, and our first drummer, which is not Alfonso Mocerino, who's the drummer we have with us now, who's a great drummer, he's very young and very talented. But we began, playing live with Davide Perpignano, who was our very first drummer ever. Actually, our first drummer was Valerio, because he wrote everything by himself. But then, yeah, as soon as we got live, actually on stage, we called Davide Witch, who actually left the band in 2018 for personal issues. But Alfonso actually got the chance to get into the band, learned all the tracks, because in the meantime, we actually were recording our third album, and we didn't have a drummer at that time. So we had to call someone to replace Davide in that period, and we just went straight forward to Thomas Lang. And so Alfonso had to learn all of these actual parts, and he did an amazing job. And he's still doing that, because we played like 3 tracks coming from that album during the tour, and he just smashed them. He nailed them.
Yeah, like when I saw Virtual Symmetry live, everything was so tight, so melodic. And after the tour, I was listening to the older live, live videos you had, and there's lots difference between now and then. Like now it feels like more well produced, but also sound is much more organic. Like you grow as a band, and I think
we just tried and tried, being followed by professionals and just learning how to do that better and better with time. So I think the results are just kicking in.
Yeah, exactly. It's you're aging like fine wine, and all it is in the band, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we love wine, red wine, actually.
Amazing. And there are 2 Marks in the band as well.
There are actually 2 Marcos, but I like to get myself called Mark, just to make a difference, because there are too many Marcos in Italy, actually. We're too many. So I had, I had to step out of that group. But actually, I discovered, like a couple of years ago, that Marco is already being called Mark by someone else. So everything is kind of messy now. Yeah.
Crazy. So so when you're in Italy and you don't know someone's name, just call him Mark, and almost you got the name right. Basically.
Yeah, it's so fun when we all get together, because just when someone else calls out Marco, we both turn it at the same time.
Amazing. Yeah. I'm confused as myself as well. Who is Mark? Which So back to Virtual Symmetry.
Yes.
You have been around for almost a decade and 3 albums under your belt. I wonder, for this reason, why was it a perfect timing to call the 4th album Virtual Symmetry the same name as the band?
So this is actually a quite interesting story, because Virtual Symmetry actually VS4, how we like to call it, it's actually been being it produced between 2020 and 2022, we just wanted to give everyone the best version of ourselves right now. So we wanted to create an album which actually could sum up the 5 members of the band individually and together as a band. Just our styles, influences, and ideas, melodic ideas, lyrics. Because this is actually the first album, the second one, excluding Message from Eternity, our debut album, whose lyrics have been actually written by everyone in the band. And not just by, we just had like teamworks even. So it's been a great work, a great teamwork. I couldn't take part of it all, because in 2020, 2021, I just took, a pause from the musical environment, because I had the creativity, block, and I had to solve it. But as soon as I got in, the guys were already, planning everything out. They were just writing stuff, and I just got in and got to, take part in the creation of this wonderful album. And what you listen to now is actually the 5 souls of ours mixed into one, as a band, actually, as Virtual Symmetry.
Well, that sounds that sounds amazing, very inspirational to see this, and this might be the secret recipe why this album is so great. But then I wonder, so you work together on the lyrics part, but as well the melodic part, or is this yet to come?
No, actually, it's always been like a teamwork. Starting from the debut album, we just got there with all the tracks laid down, like the skeletons, the main structures have already been written down. We just had to arrange the tracks, just adding keyboard parts, moving the bass, adding vocals, and then lyrics. So it's always been a teamwork, from start to finish. The middle two albums, the EP X-Gate and the concept album Exoverse, have actually been written 70% by me and Valerio only, because we spent like full days in the studio just laying down ideas, writing stuff. But this time around, just with me taking a pause from everything, and the lockdown obviously got Valerio to be by himself in the studio, because he lives in Lugano actually. Marco and I live in Italy, so we couldn't get there actually. So it's been like getting back to the past, with Valerio writing the stuff, writing the structures, and then us coming there and adding ourselves, our souls, our instruments to that. So yeah, in the end, it's always teamwork. Even from choosing, the main topic of each song, we just discuss them and find a way to make it work together.
Great. And what I'm wondering, you told about the creative block. So how did you overcome this creative block?
So the thing is that I just, got to a point where I didn't care about it, and I just went for it. Because all the keyboards you can listen to in this album, let me take it. All the lyrics you can listen here in Virtual Symmetry, all the lyrics and actual keyboard parts have been written and recorded just in the first 5 months of 2022. So it's been actually a fast recover for me, and it's been great to work with the guys as well, because they made it easier, just to come back. And I have to thank them for this.
Just to summarize everything what you said. So this album, Virtual Symmetry, your fourth album, there was much more team collaboration, you would say, correct?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it worked, actually. Just finding ourselves in the studio, because not many of you know that we also work together. It is not our main job being musicians, but we get to get together even outside of the musical environment, so we can discuss lyrics, topics, gigs, and stuff like that, even outside from the musical environment. So it's pretty cool, actually. And having everyone around just made things easier.
Great. We got a fewer comment. So a fewer comment. I can't display because this isn't working. But the viewer comment is like VS4 laughing smiley, and is there a team behind this album?
Oh, a team, like a main theme?
Yeah, Barmy is asking if there is a team behind this album.
Okay, so actually, no. This is, I think, the first album without actually, like a story to be followed, a main topic, a main theme, actually, like you wrote. Because we just wanted to create an album containing all singles, tracks which could stand out by themselves and not being like contextualized into a whole story. Like the previous album, the Exoverse one, was actually a concept album, so it has this story that goes along with it. Even the X-Gate EP has a story, and the Message from Eternity album is actually like an early Virtual Symmetry album, like the early VS4, because it has a general like message, but different tracks which can just be mixed up, and they don't mess up the message, they don't mess up the meaning of it.
So yeah, this album hasn't a team, but it has 5 souls of the band, basically.
Yeah, exactly. The main theme is that, you know, it's actually our teamwork.
Great one. It's a unique concept. I love it. It's something else.
That's cool. That's very nice to hear. We made it.
Yes, you made it, certainly. I became an instant fan when I saw you, and when you gave me this CD during Evergrey tour, I was like, whoa, what a band, what a focus, what an instrumental. It's really a great album where you dive in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, these kind of comments are what we make music for, you know, aside from ourselves, because, you know, we just wish to play what we actually like and what we feel like playing. So we don't have, you know, like rules to be followed, or you know, just critics, or just comments, you know, received by others, which we follow. We do that, but we tend to be free in writing. So the main thing is that we just write what we like and send it out to you so that you can like it as well. And when we just, you know, get back this actually the feedback from you guys, and it's wonderful. It's like, you know, like running a mile and getting to the end.
Yeah.
You know, just hearing that people are happy listening to our songs, that, you know, just tell us, oh, my favorite track is this one, my favorite one is this. It's like, you know, getting to the goal for us.
Amazing. And Barney is saying, cool. So, yeah. You said that you are not bound by boundaries, you are free, but when I spoke with Mark, he told me that the music you play is progressive metal, and I think progressive metal is a broad term because you have progressive death, you have progressive symphonic. It's a very broad term, so it's a complex one as well because of the many influences. So how do you think your latest album falls into this category?
So this is not a hard question, but it's pretty hard to think about this. Because, you know, as you said, progressive is pretty much limitless. And being progressive metal and not progressive death, progressive hardcore, progressive pop, and stuff like this, we don't have those kind of boundaries, because we just want to you know, just grab onto the roots of progressive music and play like whatever we like, contextualize. But yeah, just this album, I think it, you know, it can be placed into the, you know, progressive rock and metal big universe, because there are tons of influences in each track. Each track has his own mood, his own sections, his own length. For example, the first track of Virtual Symmetry is actually a suite, which is 20 minutes long. So, yeah, and it's called Virtual Symmetry as well. So that's the fun part. That's actually us being ourselves for 20 minutes. How cool is that?
Really cool. So I'm wondering on the new album, so what moods can we find there?
Oh, well, you can actually listen to everything we wrote before, starting from orchestral environments and atmospheres to movie soundtrack-like music, epics, tight riffs, you know, blues, actually, Latin. You can listen to, you know, many shades of music in this album, you know, which range from pop to heavy metal. Yeah,
I was like, this is different, but it's hard to form an opinion. As well, it's great, but I mean, like, there's so many flavors. You're getting like immersed into it, and every song is great but different than the other one. It's like a discovery. Every time you listen, you discover something new.
So it's like that. It's like that for us as well. we write them, yeah. But every time we listen to the tracks, we, just writing music makes you go through so much music that sometimes you don't forget about your own tracks, but you just forget about those tiny, things and stuff you put here and there, and you just, plan to do that. But just listening to that again makes you think, oh, that's what we meant there. And it's happening.
And it's
so
like
it's tricky.
And it's like scooping ice cream. One time you taste this, and then you find something else, and then it's different. It's like different taste of ice creams.
Exactly. But with the cup just being constantly full, you just scoop it out, and it comes back again. So you can scoop it out again, and again, and again, and again.
So progressive metal is as ice cream and limitless.
Yeah, it's limitless ice cream. And I love it.
Let's now look at the album. You have it here, I assume. So can you show everyone the album?
So this is actually Virtual Symmetry.
Yeah.
Here we have it. Let me just get it closer to the... Here you go. So this is Virtual Symmetry. And the fun thing is that the guy on the cover is actually Marco. He's our singer. This is a picture that's been taken during
you.
the... No, not me. You can see by the hair. Yeah. So this is actually the album, and these are the 8 tracks contained in it. So the first one is Virtual Symmetry, which is the suite I was telling you about before. And these are all cool singles, and each of them have a single story. And I just suggest to pay proper attention to the lyrics as well, because they tell very good stories. So, the lyrics go along just by themselves without the music, and the music does itself. So, this is another thing we like to do with our music. The music has to stand up by himself, and the lyrics do as well.
So, great one. So now I'm wondering why the other Mark, got the honors of being there in the water and on the album cover. So what was the decision that this Mark got there?
So I think that this was like a, like the graphic artist choice, because in my opinion, seeing the pictures taken of each one of us, this one of Marco is like the best one. Like, if you can actually see all the other ones inside, in the album, actually in the booklet, there are the 4 actual other pictures of us in the same position as Marco. So you can actually see them. But, I actually love this one.
Yeah, it's great. Very nice. I'm going to study this.
It's a great pose. He's a model.
It's color blue. How come? Any specific reason behind this decision?
So, yes and no, because this is actually